Okay guys, good morning. Today is the day that some of my loyal followers have been waiting for a year. Today we're making a very big hole. Stay tuned. Alright guys, so again today is the day we're going to be making another very big hole in the backyard. Some of my faithful followers have asked for more pond videos. Some of you guys, try and get out of the sun a little bit. Some of you guys like those videos, surprisingly, so I'm going to give you what you're asking for. I'm your Huckleberry. So I've been talking about, since I built this pond, this was just supposed to be for some goldfish that my son won at a carnival. God, it's got to be 7 years now. And you'll see some of the bigger one, well, not the big ones, but some of the bigger goldfish in there you're going to see are those carnival fish. I've always wanted koi. We went to the store the other week and saw some blue koi that I just couldn't get out of my mind, and we ended up buying koi a little bit earlier than I thought. I don't want to keep koi in the same pond with goldfish, so here we are. So you're going to see I kind of have a rough etch out of the pond we're doing. This is going to be about 2,000 gallons, maybe a little bit more. Rough estimates are 10 foot wide by 14 foot long, and we're gonna be going down 4 foot of this one and then planning out some shelving. Again, this is still kind of rough. I don't know how it's gonna go until I start digging. We're gonna see how it all works out, but this is kind of the general idea, and we're gonna be building out around here and doing a perimeter and landscaping everything out. That's what the plan in my head is. So we got a 21 by 25 liner here, 45 milli PDM. We have some nice underlayment of equal size, and I'm getting ready to go pick up an excavator this time. I ain't doing this one by hand, and I don't know, you're gonna see out front there we got a dump trailer out front. My daughter's boyfriend has a dump trailer. So yeah, let me go pick up the excavator, and this is going to be the Wingin DIY Pond 2.0. So we'll catch you guys in a bit. Alright, so first major hurdle cleared. I got this excavator back through that fence, or through the gate. The gate's like 50 inches, so I got one with an adjustable track and the adjustable ends that come off of the front. It's definitely fun trying to drive one of these if you've never driven one of these before. I didn't think it was going to be as susceptible to ripping up my grass, but yeah, I fucked my grass up pretty good coming up through here. I guess this is a pond video and families will be watching it, so I should probably watch the F-bombs, so I'm going to apologize ahead of time. Definitely tore up the grass a little bit up here because I had to swing the cab around and get it up off of the ground to pull in the tracks. So yeah, I'm not very happy about that, but lessons learned. I wish I had some plywood to put down, but I don't, so you know, it is what it is. But this one's a John Deere 17G, and again, I'm just gonna kind of wing it as I go through. Once I figure out how the workings of this thing work and I start actually digging, I'll throw it on time lapse and let you guys see some of the digging process. But I'm just making myself some coffee, and we're gonna get rocking and rolling soon, I think. Yeah, so I don't know if I'm gonna embarrass myself and do a time lapse. This thing is very awkward to maneuver, so I don't want you guys making fun of me. Have you ever used one of these before? I almost feel like it's harder to do than shoveling. This is what I got so far because I'm kind of going at it a little gingerly. I'm trying to figure out how to make the shelves and scrape this flat, which is kind of hard to do. So yeah, I don't know what to do, but if you've never used one of these before, they're definitely tough. So I kind of got some of the perimeter done. I'm digging down a little bit, but I want to try and figure out how to do the shelves. I might kind of have to do these by hand, but here's where we're at so far, and we'll get back to it. So we're getting down a little bit more. The complication I'm having is trying to maneuver this thing to be able to do shallow cuts. Again, I get the idea of it, it's just awkward and non-intuitive. So a friend came over and gave me some advice about dropping the bucket down low just to the, you know, a little bit on the surface, and then just pulling the excavator back and just dragging. That way I can kind of keep it plane as I'm going across, and just go a little bit deeper and just drag it back, pull the bucket out, dump it, you know, and then just drag it that way. That way I can kind of form out the shelves a little bit, because right now I'm just going deeper and deeper and kind of tearing this up a little bit. But once I get a little bit more comfortable, I'll try and do some time lapse. All right, so I don't know how much you guys are gonna see. Got a big pile here. This can very easily get away from you with one of these excavators. So I started digging. The stuff's not level. I got a rake in there, start raking up all the loose stuff. I'm gonna try and level it a little bit and break in the shelves, and then I'm gonna take the bucket and just start scraping and tamping down a little bit and see if I can get this stuff leveled out. And I'm gonna trim it with the shovel, and then once I start getting a little bit level, then I'm gonna go down to the next level. It's gonna go down 4 foot. So I want to try and form out these shelves a little bit better and tamp it, and we'll see how it goes. So far, I mean, it's got a pretty cool shape to it. This side's kind of loose for me running the machine over it, so I don't know if that wall's going to form right. I might get a little bit of water in there, kind of harden it up. But again, just watch out when you're working with an excavator. It can get ahead of you, or it can get out of control if you don't know what you're doing, like me. But we'll see if we can fix it and start forming out these shelves a little. All right, so I marked off the section that I want to go down to 4 foot. Again, I got to clean up these shelves. My lines came off a little bit, so I still kind of have out to here. I'm going to give myself a little bit of leeway on these walls, since these walls are starting to get a little bit soft. So I'm just going to kind of carve out as I tamp this down a little bit, and hope that this starts working itself out a little bit. We're starting to get the general shape. Again, I think it's probably going to come out, yeah, it's going to come out to where my foot is. So I still got a good 2 foot to start shaping this up, so I can start knocking away a little bit more over here as I start getting this wall a little bit more solid. So it's getting there. I'm gonna have to build this up a little bit. I think that there's a good bit of slope. So once I start getting this worked out, I'm probably gonna have to build up this side a little bit. So that's about how helpful my wife is. She's picking out rocks in the rock pile, because it's all rocks. All right, so I redid my lines over here. I'm quite a bit off, so I do have some wiggle room. I'm going to start going down a little bit deeper first, and then I'm going to start chipping away at these walls. I got a little scared because the walls were getting soft, but that's just because that's the dirt that I was building up as I was plowing through. So I should have a good bit of wiggle room to chip away over here and then start building the wall. So I'm going to go down deeper, and then as I got the base, then I'm going to start chipping away at the walls little by little, and I'll start taking out a little bit more chunks over here. As Jen is getting rocks, we got huge piles of rocks back there, and this is what she wants to go after. But it's starting to at least kind of sort of almost look like a pond. I don't know how people do this for a living. Even with an excavator, this is a lot of work, because you can't do the whole thing with an excavator. And I'm running into the same problem I ran into the other one, where as soon as I think I got a shelf kind of sort of formed to start working on it, I hit a huge boulder. Then I start screwing with it more, and then I peel out a boulder, and then the shelf collapses. You can see shelf collapsed on that side, shelf collapsed over here. Over here, I'm kind of making the best of it, making a multi-tiered shelf. So now the problem is, now I got the rocks out. Actually, I don't think I hit as much rocks as I did on the last one. But now I'm hitting clay. This is all just clay. So pickaxe did help out for just picking out small chunks, and I'm starting to form another shelf there. So the pickaxe is definitely good for pulling out some chunks to start some shelves. Before I get my leveling done, I think I finally got that to 4 foot deep, right about there. I gotta tell you guys, from watching these videos, people make it seem like it is just so easy to carve out these shelves and make them all nice and symmetrical. I don't know how you guys are doing it, unless you just have really good soil, but man, this is some work. I got lucky. I didn't know where to dump the soil, and it turns out that there was a place to be able to dump it. You'd have to pay. They were closed today, actually, thank God, because some random guy just saw the dump trailer sitting out in front of the house, and he came by and asked me where I was taking it to dump it. He lives 2 miles up the road and said he'll take it because he's been trying to get soil for a project for like 5 years. So it actually works out. I'm gonna be able to get rid of the soil, just take it up the road, and I can still use this, so it'll be here in time. I'm gonna try and get some of the soil loaded up tomorrow and get it up to him. I'm gonna keep a little bit for backfill, but otherwise it's just getting the remnants of the crap down there to get a flat base, and then just kind of figuring out how to carve these shelves out. I want to get these shelves a little bit thinner, get them a little bit straighter, so they're not so jagged, and try and make it look a little bit nicer. But man, I'll tell you what, even with this Kubota or this John Deere, this is a workout, because you still got to do a decent bit by hand. And again, just I don't know what the trick is for the shelves. So this is not planning to be done in one day like the other pond was. I was just digging the hole today, got the liner. I was going to throw a liner down just so I don't have a big mud pit, and past there I got to plan out where I'm going to put the filter and the waterfall. That is still up in the air because I don't know what I want to do for a filter and a waterfall. So I probably should have planned that out ahead of time, but you know, that's how it works sometimes. Sometimes this stuff just comes to you as you're doing the work. So it's kind of how this is going. So you'll see I still have a little bit of leeway to go on the size to be able to carve this out a little bit. So it's still got a good bit of work, but again, even with an excavator, this still is a good bit of work. That pickaxe though works great for the clay, so I was able to chip away with the pickaxe, and then I can go through with a shovel and kind of notch it out a little bit better. So I'm just going to keep on trying to do that as best as I can and just hope these shelves don't break off. All right, so to get the clay off again, just pickaxe. You see, I'm going to start building another shelf and start chipping away at this big shelf here. Man, this stuff is hard.
That's what she said.
But you see, we're going to start chipping away at this little by little and making this top shelf smaller and make a second shelf to step in. And I'll start carving away little by little. Literally, this whole project, this is all she's worried about. There's rocks. She asked me, am I allowed to clean the rocks?
Look at this one, it's really cool. Look at it.
Meanwhile, I'm over here digging all this by hand, and she's worried about cleaning rocks. They're just rocks. They're not even the kind of rocks people use for ponds, but whatever. They're free, I guess. I mean, honestly, those rocks are what I built that waterfall out of. You'll see a couple of those rocks over there in that waterfall. So I grabbed a 2x6 by 10. That was the longest I could find in my shed. And I'm going to try and figure out how level this pond is today, because it's really driving me nuts because it doesn't look level. I know it's not level. I planned on taking this down a notch, but this was just going to be a seating area. But I'm definitely going to have to backfill in, but I got to see how bad it really is. I'm going to start from over there and see how much of an angle I have down this way, and then just start backfilling. But I can see the plane is pretty... Let me see if I can walk over here. Unfortunately, they don't make big enough levels, so I don't know how I'm going to do it. But, I mean, I can see, I can just physically see that the plane is much higher there. So I know I'm going to have to fill in, you know, 6 inches to a foot over here to kind of make it look right. That pond was like that as well, and I did fill in and make a nice berm, and honestly a lot of it was fixed with rock, so it's probably not going to be an issue. But the excavator's here, so I might as well try and get some more dirt over here and try and fill this in and make it look a little bit nicer, so that way once it gets some water in it, it'll look level. Alright, so we're going widthwise across the pond. I got the 2x6 out, and surprisingly it's not that terrible from left to right. So you can see it's definitely off level, and that's what it's going to take to get on level. So we're only talking, you know, 2 inches of fill. I'm going to start grading out over here, And I gotta try and figure out what to do for going this way. And a matter of fact, what this told me is that I'm not as close to 4 feet as I thought I was. Looks like I'm only about 40 inches. I thought I was pretty damn close to 4 foot. So I still got, I still got 8 inches to go down here. So I'm still gonna carve out the bottom a little bit maybe, because I was pretty adamant on going 4 foot. And we'll see how it goes as I start leveling things off. So I didn't think I was gonna have to break the excavator out today, but the fact that I gotta go down 8 inches over there and, probably a good 10 inches over here, it just makes sense. This is all clay at this point, so I'm just gonna try and do some shallow scrapes and see if I can get the dirt up, and then I'll just start moving this stuff along a little bit along the edges. Man, this clay is killer. I don't know if the more I touch it, the more I mess it up, or the more I make it better. So I notched out another shelf right there, notched out another shelf right there, started notching out a little bit here, digging down a little bit more. I just can't get that bucket of the excavator down, so I gotta get down in there and shovel it out. But the problem is this is clay, and as soon as you step on it, it tamps it down, and then it's a freaking nightmare. I'm trying to get this packed down a little bit to make a berm, but again, it's just chunks and chunks of clay. These chunks are just absolutely ridiculous. This is like playing with Play-Doh, or clay, duh. Like you're forming something out of clay. So this is just unreal. I don't even know where to go with it. So up top it's a little bit easier to form, but as you're getting down there, it's nuts. So I guess I'm gonna keep on just trying to pick at it with a pick and just trying to get up small pieces. I've just been throwing the chunks up by hand, and then the small gravelly stuff trying to get up with the shovel. Man, just shaving away at clay. I feel like I work in a taffy factory. So I decided to look at my toolbox, see what kind of stuff I had to make my life easier, and I found this scraper. I bought it when I was peeling up my flooring. I think this was to get up the tiles or get up the underlayment or something. So I started using this to kind of use it as a chisel to kind of get these straight edges. You're gonna see a mallet here. I was using a mallet for the clay, kind of chisel away, and up here I was just kind of doing this to kind of make a nice straight edge to go for my first lip. So this is helping out quite a bit. Other than that, it's just been stepping on that straight spade and just shaving off little by little. Went a little too deep over here, so I'm just going to use whatever clay I'm bringing up and tamp it down to bring it up a little bit, since I'm going to have to level over here. Highest spot over here was like 49 inches. So again, just kind of carving out, making little shelves is getting a little bit better. I wanted a majority of this to be 4 foot, but I just don't think it's going to work that way if I wanted to look cool with shelves, and if I want to make it accessible. The thing is I got to be able to get in this thing to clean it. I may kind of chip away. I don't know what I'm going to do yet. I'm going to kind of see how it's going to look, and then I'll decide what I'm going to chip away to get more square footage in here. All right, so I got the tarp in, not because it's ready to go in, but because I had a rain scare and I didn't have any tarps big enough to cover this, and I didn't want my work to erode. I still do have some notching and cleanup I want to do in here, but I gotta say, with the tarp in there, or with the liner in there, it looks a hell of a lot bigger than what I thought it was going to be. I actually have the liner. I thought that I bought like many feet too long on the liner, and that's not the case. I think I actually have it twisted because it's 10 feet this way and 14 foot that way. And then obviously I didn't go full 4 foot deep everywhere. So I am going to have some leftovers. I hope not that much leftover, because this tarp is very expensive, or liner is very expensive. So as you can see, I got rid of that big mound of dirt. Took two dump trucks full up to this guy's house. It offered to take the dirt because he needed some fill. The fish are excited for their new home. Just kind of taking a break. I don't have any more energy in me. Now that it's not raining, I feel like I should take the tarp off and work on it more, but I just don't have any more energy in me. So I need to figure out where the skimmer is going to go, if I'm going to do a skimmer, where the waterfall is going to go, what I'm going to do. So I may dig at it a little bit more next week just to clean up the shelves, but it's still going to be moot until I get you know, waterfall, basin, and a skimmer, and decide what I want to do. Originally I was thinking about putting the waterfall right there in that corner, but obviously you got to put the skimmer on the opposite side of it, which would put it right here. I don't know if I'm going to love it there. I might be able to make that work, but I don't know if I'm going to love it there. Other option there is, again, do cross corners, do the waterfall there, do skimmer over there. That would actually work pretty good, because that tree, and I didn't think about this, I wasn't going to do a skimmer, but that tree, so this pond didn't get a lot, if any, leaves at all, but that tree, with being here, and these trees over here, this one's going to get a lot of leaves. So I definitely got to think about doing a skimmer. Thought about putting the waterfall right there at that end, and maybe the skimmer over here, but this tree is going to block the waterfall. I don't want that, and more importantly, I don't know if I'm going to have enough space here. I mean, you can notch out for the skimmer. It probably won't be a problem by the time I fill it with rocks, but again, I don't know. I'm going to figure this stuff out in the next couple weeks, but made some progress, leveled some things out a little bit better. I just got to really work on getting some backfill moved around over to this side and cleaning things up a little bit.